All right. I guess I should hit the live button. Been here for a little bit and was about to not remember to. I was setting up behind the scenes and welcome. For me, it's still morning, 10:35 a.m., Tuesday, January 29th, 2019. And welcome. Let's see. Just let me check something real quick. I'm sorry about this. Okay. So, had to mute myself there. Had a little cough stuck in my throat. Um, Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Nice to have you. So, I'm doing another kind of a redo. Well, it is a redo of this storm with the Mohawk because it got damaged. Luckily, it's been, as far as I know, only the first one. And let's see, okay. Now I'm getting messages. Okay. It's been the only one that got damaged, and it had a hole in it. I mean, like somebody took a ballpoint pen or something and just punched it right through the mailer that I use. And those of you who have received one of these can testify for me that I use a sturdy mailer. It's a Stay Flat white. It's made out of heavy cardboard. It has a kind of a little bit of a waxy coating on it, which protects it from moisture. But that thing had a hole in it that looked like someone just took a ballpoint pen and stuck it. Hey, Joe, there you are. Hey, David. So was not happy that that came damaged. And neither was David, but so we're going to redo it. So that's what I've been sketching on. And then I'm going on to going to do the venom that the guy won free. Eldon. And then I have a snake eyes, one of two snake eyes that will get done this week. David, I have not forgot about your Spider-Man. I will be getting to that. It may not be this week. I got to fly out Friday for my first convention, but then I don't have anything the rest of February, so it'll be back to streaming full time. So I know you're anxious to get that in your other pieces you ordered, and believe me, I'm anxious to get them to you because I want to be able to move on to other things too. So let me just finish tighten up this storm a little bit. Okay, I think we're ready to go with some ink. Welcome to the rest of you in the chat room. Glad to have you. Please feel free to join the chat, ask questions, and I'll see what I can do to answer. I think since I've just been drawing a little bit and I haven't put any ink on paper, I'm gonna find a scrap piece here. You would think it would be all over, and sometimes it is, but I actually did a little cleaning, and I just use a piece of this, I think. Did a little cleaning and got rid of a bunch of scrap paper that was just laying on the floor, not looking too good and making it hard for me to get around my own studio. So now that's gone. Can y'all hear me okay? Hopefully you can. I'm checking all my connections. Mic check, camera looks good. I just haven't just somebody. Okay, good. Actually wearing the headset instead of being lazy and not, for the fact that when I do notice when I rewatch a stream that I recorded with the camera mic, the sound is not so good, because whenever I turn my head, the microphone doesn't really stay with me and pick up my speaking. That's one thing I wonder when I'm able to afford a different mic. I'm gonna have to have it coming in on a boom type handle thing attached to my drawing board. I'm still gonna need a set of headphones, I believe. And the thing I don't like about headphones is they tend to get hot and warm, or warm and hot. Just want to kind of see how me and the brush are getting along today. Hi, Evan. Good morning. Great. Glad to know. And thanks for subscribing, by the way. I think you subscribed, and I know you ordered a sketch yesterday. I am going to try my best to get everything that I need to done before I fly out Friday morning. Hopefully I will, depending upon what curveballs life throws at me. Like yesterday, I planned on doing these initial 3 that I'm doing now, and that didn't happen. All right, so it appears the brush and I are going to be able to get along today. All right. Hey, Eldon, good morning. I'll be doing your venom that you won in the contest here kind of soon. The idea behind these quick sketches are twofold. One, to keep me busy in practice and skill. The second, well, actually, more than twofold. Put a little money in my pocket. And third, entertaining for the audience, hopefully, which so far I believe they have been. So That's the three reasons off the top of my head that I can think of doing them. And I have fun with them. Hey, Joe, um, I wanted to mention to you, you have and I'm going to try to get to mailing today also. Um, hey, AG, how you doing? Joe, you have another drawing that I'm going to be mailing out to you. I got all the big cartel stuff printed out, the packing receipts. You have another piece coming that I can put this storm in, correct? I can't remember which one it was right now, but I remember printing that off this earlier this morning. A Colossus, I think. I think it just came to me. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just looked at the chat. Okay, that's what I was going to do. And then I know that, with the problem with the mail, it really looks like somebody just crammed a ballpoint pen through that package. And it's a sturdy envelope that I use. I get them from Uline. They're stay flat, white mailers, self seal. Um, looks like somebody really had to work to make that hole because it's like a hole. I mean, well, it's like it's not like a ragged hole or something. It looks like someone just took a pin and like twisted that thing in there. But since you sent the extra money, I'm gonna send these out to you. I'm gonna give it the priority. That will give you $50 insurance, just in case maybe your mailman has a grudge against you or me for some reason. Who knows? Very bizarre, but I know it happens. Luckily, luckily it was not on a real expensive piece of art. Well, but at that point, I think it would have been insured, but still, it would have, it's not right. There you go, Eldon. That could be too. Hey, thanks, AG. I kind of like them myself. It's fun to do profiles. Well, regardless of what happened to it, it sucked, and hopefully, hopefully it'll never happen again. But I am going to start, as of today's mailing, I'm going to start insuring them. I'm just going to have to see what the price is. I'm not sure. I don't think it's that much more expensive to just add insurance to first class with tracking. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask, like, what is it to add, let's say, $50 of insurance onto that versus sending it priority, and just see what I get back. What the fees are, because basically, unless somebody buys more than one of these, and I send them all in one package, they're going to weigh about the same. David, I want you to know I appreciate that. I got a lot going on this week, man. To be serious with you, well, I'm always serious with you, but yesterday um, was family stuff. I had to do stuff that took it. Just when you're stuck somewhere doing something, and you think you can get in and out, and before you can even talk to somebody about what's opening a bank account or something, and it takes you 45 to 50 minutes before you even see uh, one of the people at the desk to handle your your stuff. That's just like, I'm just sitting there thinking, what a waste of time. And then, of course, as we all know, as they go through all the other services they want to offer you, when you just want to open a simple checking account, I know they have to do it, but I'm polite. I don't, I try to get out of there without being rude. I just tell them, no, I don't need anything else. Just a checking account will be fine. Thank you. And I'll tell you something that, hold on 1 minute. I want to just check the chat. Should be around $1.65. Okay. Um, so I'm paying like $3.50 now with first class and tracking. So that would put it up to $5 easy. And then my mailers and my labels and stuff, I factor that in my time. Yeah, I gotta, and yeah, that's it. It's like, I just got to restructure the price so that I'm making a little something, right? I know these things sell, when I put these up for 25 bucks, they sell, I can put five up. I could probably put more than five up. They sell out within yesterday when I made this sell live within I think it was 8 minutes. All five were gone. And that was the last that I'm going to do at 25 bucks for a while. I might have a sale, Black Friday sale or something, and offer so many or something at the end of the year or something. But and I'll still do the giveaways and that type of stuff. We're still going to have a lot of fun. Anyway, I'm just going to see uh, what priority would cost because it's a my envelopes are 7 by 9 and they usually weigh about 2.1, 2.2 ounces. So if the priority mail is, you know, not going to run that much, and I know it varies from zone to zone, but they can give me an estimate. Then I'll just start shipping them all out that way. And if somebody gets more than one, I'll double the insurance. Well, thanks, Joe. And thank you, Eldon. Be fun to see you and your son this weekend. David, as I was saying, thank you for the patience. Because I know I said I'd be working on that probably today or yesterday. I'm sorry. And I do plan on being back again tonight. like I said, I have one guy that, and this was before my final sale. If somebody was having a hard time getting it on the sale, I was kind of letting them, if they were in the chat room, letting them write to me while I was still going live and kind of reserving a spot. So he took 3, and I might do his 3 tonight because that would be one full grouping. And the characters are Batman, Joker, and Snake Eyes, another Snake Eyes. So I got a Snake Eyes now and a Snake Eyes later if I choose to do all 3 of his tonight, which I might do just because that, boom, do the 3 and that's it. We're, you know, we're good to get his out. Hey, Ron. Are you actually someplace you can actually see the art? Ron will hopefully be on with me tonight, reading chat while I can put down the lines. I know Ron's been putting in a ton of hours at his job. So I really appreciate him coming on and being able to help me monitor chat. Oh, I did notice in re-looking at Storm, I forgot. She has like a vest. So I've added a collar. Well, a collar on a vest and a shoulder here, and then the collar around her neck. So kind of will be a new piece, Joe. Hopefully this one will be delivered in one piece and not multiples, or not even a multiple, not just a hole in the middle of it. I imagine both you and I, Joe, had that same sinking feeling when you saw it. You probably had the same feeling I had when you sent me a picture of it. I know the girl that works at the post office I go to also. She grew up right across the street from me. I hope she still likes me. Now we get along fine. She's actually a comics fan. Uh, All right, Ron. Well, it it was a definite hole. So I've actually, truthfully, been fairly lucky with mailing stuff. I can't remember anything ever being damaged like that. I've stuff has came to people folded, um, even when I put tons and tons of cardboard in it. But I've never quite seen a hole. I get folded, and that doesn't make it any more palatable. It's just, I that's usually what you're used to seeing is something that somebody bends. These being smaller, I'm not really, and I shouldn't say anything, but I will. I'm not really fearful of them being folded. It's when I get up into the bigger stuff, like the 11 by 17 or bigger. That's the ones that I worry. And usually at that point, getting some masonite, the hardwood, is the best way to ship that. But it really adds to the expense of the shipping. And believe it or not, there's some people that, I'll ask them, do you want to pay, it might be $15, $20 extra because of the weight, and they don't want to do it. So, but like I said, I've been lucky. I haven't had a problem. I do have this is a funny story now. At the time, it wasn't. And Jim Lee actually brought it up on one of his Twitch streams that I actually saw the people that are taking his Twitch stuff and putting it on YouTube, VZA or something. And I forget which episode it is, but maybe it's the one where he's drawing Daredevil, because I know they're talking about the Wild Boys. And somebody had asked him, had he ever drawn Daredevil characters? And he mentions the story that he had drawn from an Ann Nocenti script, like a 5-page, I think it was 5 or 6 page backup story. And he actually drew it in like a Romita Jr. style. It wasn't your typical Jim Lee type art style with all the hatching and stuff. So at that time, Al Williamson was inking a lot of JR's stuff. So I tried to do my best Al Williamson on it, and this was a job that I inked for Ralph Macchio, the editor of Daredevil. So I could fit it in my schedule. I'd never inked Jim before. That was the first time, and it wasn't really I mean, it was Jim, but it wasn't like Jim, like you would think of Jim Lee. And long story short, I inked it. I did not make photocopies. One of the rare times I did not make photocopies of my inked work before I sent it off. I just, didn't do it. And it didn't get damaged. It's kind of funny. I can laugh at it now. At the time, it wasn't funny. Hey, Ashley. Good morning. Well, thank you. So I get a call from Ralph, and he asked me about the story that I inked. He was asking, where is it? And I said, oh, you should have that. So I give him the tracking number. I track it myself. It's showing it was delivered to the mailroom at Marvel, and they can't find it. So, luckily, the tracking number proves that it arrived at Marvel from me, and somebody signed for it. They just could not find the physical package, and they claimed that they looked high and low for it. Ralph asked me, could I ink the job again with pay over photocopies? And I really didn't have time. I mean, I really didn't. So I told him, I said, Ralph, as much as I'd like to, I don't have time to do it. And I said, I'm sorry, but, there was nothing I could do anyway. Marvel didn't do a good job looking in their mailroom. So literally about, I'm going to say 5 years, 3 to 5 years went by. And I get a call from Ralph. And I thought he was calling me for, an assignment or something. And so he basically, kind of funny, we were chit-chatting, and he said, I just wanted to mention something to you. He goes, remember that job you inked for me all those years ago? And I said, yeah. He goes, well, we found it. And I said, you did? Where is it? And he said, it had fell behind the flat files at Marvel in the mailroom where it was delivered. And just now found. So I think I got 2 original pages back, and Jim got 3. And Kim DeMolder actually wound up inking what appeared in the book. So it was in the mailroom all this time, but flat files are very, very heavy. And I guess whoever, you would have thought they would have looked everywhere, seeing as though it was delivered in the mailroom, signed for. I mean, flat files are heavy, but you get some guys in there, you can slide it out and check behind the flat files. But it took for them to be relocating, or maybe even just relocating or cleaning the mailroom, for them to finally take that little extra effort. So needless to say, the first and last time I ever inked Jim Lee, it never got published. And no, I don't have the pages anymore. I sold the couple I got back. And funny thing about that is, unpublished pages aren't as valuable as published pages to the collector, to the true art collector. If you get so if you're into collecting original art, you probably know something about that. Let's see. I have no idea. I keep getting this thing. Um, Let me see if anyone else get. It's like a huge discount on my monthly bill. Use promo eBay when you call this 800 number. It's Direct TV and AT&T, which I do have, but I don't trust that number, and I'm not going to call. I think it's a scam. I don't think, Direct TV, AT&T, if you're with their services, and I don't know how it is with the other companies, they're not allowed to call you. If they have a better deal, they can't call an existing customer and offer them that. I have to call and ask, is there a better deal than what I'm getting right now? Never quite understood that, but anyway, like I said, I'm not going to call it. AG, the story was printed. Like I said, Kim DeMolder wound up re-inking I think it was I think it was 5-page backup with the Wild Boys in the in the backup. Hey Sean, how are you doing, man? Yep, that is spam. And that's about I don't know how many times I've got it. And I don't even do anything with that. It can they can just keep sending me a text. They're not getting anything from me. I'm not replying to that junk. As soon as I reply to it, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get more. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Well, luckily I'm warming up because this has almost been an hour. I gotta pick up the speed. Well, actually, on my quick ones, I try to keep them at 40 minutes to an hour at the most. Ashley, I know what you mean. Hey, Sean, you know what? I appreciate the fans like reacting to them. Like I said, I just need to realize that it doing the $25, I'm not making enough money to continue doing it. So, uh, while it's fun and it does help me and like just practice, I'm just gonna have to charge a bit more. That's what it boils down to. I'm trying to figure out where I should go as far as price point. You know, I mean, I don't even do these at conventions. So let's see what I want to do with this shine on this collar. Think I want to do this one. Gonna change this up a little bit. I need my round. This little filbert brush isn't gonna work on that tiny area. I think on the jacket collar though, it should do nicely. Yeah, AG, my inks never saw print. I was just talking about the Jim Lee story. I did ink that originally, but like I said, it got lost and got published, and that was the end of that until they found the pages like 3 to 5 years later. I still got paid for the job. Um, because Marvel, they had shown where it was delivered and signed for by one of their employees. So, and I want to say after there's like this I think there's like this rule in place, and this was back in my day. I don't know if this still exists because a lot of stuff is just sent in digitally now. But if it went like a year, and this may be after publication, so since mine was never technically published, I don't think they had to pay me. If it's a year after your story is published, if they can't return the original art to you, I think you get paid again in lieu of the original. So since it wasn't published, I can't remember if I got like another check for what would have been my portion, 2 pages, or if since it wasn't printed, I think there was that little loophole for them. But it didn't matter. It was just one of those things where, it was like this big mystery, and had they just moved a little bit of equipment around in the mail office, they would have found it. I gotta say, Sean, I love your passion though, for retweeting my uh, my tweets and for reposting all the stuff you've done for me. I I appreciate that very much. That's very helpful getting the word out through other people's socials. So hats off to you, sir. Much obliged. And I think I'm going to hit that 175 subscriptions on my YouTube channel here if I haven't already. Which, that's just a fun. Like I said, I started the month off at 120. And I was thinking, it'd be cool if I could average one subscriber a day and get to 150. So we crushed that, people. Thank you all for if you've recommended my stream to a friend, if you've helped me out in any way, if you've joined the stream, if you've contributed in the chat room, if you've enjoyed it, liked it, whatever, however you've helped out, thank you. Hey, thanks, Evan. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Evan. Sorry, I couldn't resist. All right, Ashley. Thanks for the news. Thanks for the news, AG. We got, 176. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Good, good, good. Um, Evan, if you subscribed and hit notifications, you'll know when I'm live. Uh, actually, there was something. Oh, yeah. I need to walk over. Let me get my notebook. Um, I think this storm is about wrapped up. I don't know if I'm going to add the little bit of decorative line work down here or not. I might. Let me check on something real quick, and I wanted to show you all real fast an idea I had, and I don't know, maybe y'all will like it. Let's see. Let me get rid of this little pop-up that came. McAfee is trying to sell me. Thanks, Joe. Yeah. Uh, Second time around can sometimes be a little better. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. All right. So that didn't take long. Just had to walk over to my other table. Let me check my notebook because I put in everybody today. And what I'm trying to do today is get Joe's redo finished up where he had damage. Um, get Eldon's Venom done. He was the winner for leaving a comment. By the way, speaking of comments, everybody, please, if you like it, thumbs up. You can do it on your way out. You can do it now, whenever. And leave a comment. I do answer them if you've left a comment, and I appreciate the comments, all of them. So if you have something on your mind, if you got a question, or if you just want to say enjoyed it, whatever, it's all good. Appreciate it. So today, Storm Eldon, the winner of the contest we had, Venom, and then Adam has a snake eyes. Okay, so if I can get that done this afternoon, that'll be good. And then I go to, hey, Mike. Yeah, let's see. Hey, I'm glad you're in the room, Mike. You said Spider-Man. Now, did you want the black suit Spider-Man headshot or the web head? I assume the web head. Thanks. I appreciate that. Thanks for the information, Ashley. And you know what? If you want to leave it in the comments so I know, please do. Yeah, I assumed webhead because most people put black suit Spider-Man or symbiote Spider-Man if they want the black head. So I did assume that it was the webhead Spider-Man. So tonight, what I was thinking is Chris Ojeda, I think is his last name. He ordered 3. This was like he asked in the chat room because he had been having trouble winning one. So I had said once before that if you're in a chat, and that's the only way, if you're in a chat and you want to email me while we're in the chat about getting on kind of I'll go ahead and, take these without you having to fight through how many I'm offering up. So he took 3, and I'll tell you what they are. They're Snake Eyes, Batman, and then Joker. I might do those 3 tonight because then that will be the 3 that Chris ordered. And then I will have yours left, Mike. I have Evans. I'm going to do Elektra. I have one from Tyler, which will be a Thanos. I have one from a Jacob, which is the Miles Morales Spider-Man headshot. And I have Sean, who is in the room right now. He's my body story. And I think I'm going to pick Hellboy because I love Hellboy. I love the vampire Batman choice you shot at me too, Sean. And that's a real coin toss for me right there, buddy. I'll tell you what. And if I have time, Sean, I might just do them both because you've been such a cheerleader for me. I might just do that as a thank you gift, both of them. I can't promise it right now, but I'm kind of a softie that way. Yeah, I'm a sucker. Hellboy and the vampire Batman that I worked on. Those are, that was a rough choice. Dr. Kaz, how are you, sir? Yeah. And so this was the thing. Okay, so I'm at Michael's craft store, and I knew they would have these. This is a little $5 6x8 frame, and this will exactly fit these 6x8 pieces that I'm doing. So if y'all have a Michael's craft store, and sometimes you can even get like 20% off your full thing, your full purchase, or you can get, sometimes they even put these on sale, like buy 2 get 1 free. So what I kind of need to watch is I haven't put one in yet. but how close I'm getting to the border, it might cut into some of the art. So now, like on Sean's piece, the Punisher that's all black, that would be fine for him to put it in one of these frames. You know, I try. Somebody had told me about you posting in there, Sean, and I guess since I'm not a member, um, it feels like that sounds like real glass in there. Um, like I said, they're $5. Studio Decor. I think that's one of Michael's own brands, but this is 6x8 paper, and I know they leave a little bit, like maybe you're going to lose a 16th or a little bit on the sides. So what I may start, well, I don't know if I'll start doing it, but it might be something to consider. These are what I will do when I have some color ones at a convention. I'll put them in a frame and set them on my table, and then just add the $5 frame cost into the original. Okay, thanks for that information, Ashley. Yeah, I get the coupons too. There's actually a 50% off one item coupon today. I know. Ah, well, custom framing, Mike. Good deal, man. That's great because the last time I looked into getting something custom framed, it was going to cost me. It was a print. I have a Steranko print, and I wanted to get it because he signed it to me. I wanted to get it framed, and it was going to be upwards of $100 or something. And for a print, I was like, Now I do have his Captain America print, the the real nice one, and I do have that just in a non-custom frame. I would really like to get that done sometime. Uh, but it again, it's a price thing. Okay, let me see. So I think I might just. I'm just gonna leave that. I don't want to. I don't want to get messy with it. Kind of. It's good. No more lines. Hashtag no more lines. Jared is hashtag more lines. I'm no more lines. All right. So I will sign it later because I want to get a scan of it, and I erase my signature off of the scans most of the time anyway. Um, so I'll get a signature on that, and I will get this out to Joe. Hopefully later today. If not today, I still got to package some other stuff up and get it out. So, all right, Dr. Kaz, I still got one coming to you, a Hulk piece, sir. All right. Well, let's hope this one gets to you safe. If anything, it's going to get to you insured because that's my new policy now. Everything gets insured. I don't care. Yes, David. I think it's the big one with it's like a caps in the foreground. It's beautiful. I think it's 18 by 24 inches or something like that, and it's a beautiful painting. I think that he did in acrylics. I think it's it was 1,500, so there's a good number of them. It's not like it's super limited. Um, Signed in pencil which I think is nice. It's on some nice matte finish paper. Okay, so we need to do now either a venom or snake eyes. Both dark characters. Means a lot of black, but that's okay because one of my, for me at least, one of my favorite things is doing characters that, and just working in dark in general. A lot of my, uh, you know, uh, a lot of my, what's the word I'm looking for here? Equity came in that as an inker, I knew how to spot blacks and to, uh, take stuff and add black to it, or know when to put in black and know when not to. Let's see. Sean says, John, have you ever done drawing demos at cons? Just on a small scale. Uh, somebody might come to the table and just want to watch, and then they'll ask me, I kind of ask them if they have any questions to go ahead and ask, and but not really a drawing demo. I think there's a lot of artists out there that are probably a lot better at the fundamentals than I would be. So, uh, you know, I, I haven't really done that. No. Mike Ring, I think, or Airing, asked me who are my least favorite characters to draw. Um, Iron Man, Buckethead characters, mechanical stuff like that. Airing was correct. I bet you get a ring, or maybe it was. Okay, so more like the airing instead of a ring, because I get Beatty a lot instead of Beatty. It's kind of the. Yep, I'm sure you do. Yeah, I get people at conventions. They'll say, "Is it Mr. Beatty or Beatty?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm like Beatty's fine." They're like, "Oh, I didn't know," and I'm like, "Hey, no problem." I don't expect everybody to know. And then I just tell them it's not Mister, it's just John. Yeah, like Ned Beatty, and Warren Beatty. Although he added a T, he only had one T from what I understand. Yeah, there you go. My guy. All right, so let's see. Let me da, 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 da. Okay. Uh, Come on, I Google snake eyes, and of course, I do get some GI Joe figures. But let me just, if I go, but then I get all the like real snake stuff. And I kind of like the classic Marvel one. Let's see. So I'm gonna put Snake Eyes Marvel. There we go. All right. It's not that he's the most difficult character, but the thing is, all the variations that they've done, it's almost, well, I'm just kind of gonna go with my gut. No, Eldon, it's just John. See, I don't know that Snake Eyes. I just know the like the V-shaped goggles, Snake Eyes. So that's that's who I'm gonna go with. I do know that um, from past streams and from what people have told me, you all do like seeing the from pencils to inks. It's just sometimes if I know I'm going to be away from my studio and I want to stream later that night, sometimes if I'm at home, I do like to take this, little these little pads of paper home with me. That this is Strathmore. It's like a 2-ply. It's very thick. But I like to take them home and sketch out the drawing so that uh, if I come in later, I've all I got to do is get to inking. Having said that, though, like I said, I am aware that a lot of people enjoy the whole start to finish process, as do I. It's just sometimes it's not practical, especially if I'm tired. I don't want to come in and draw tired and then ink tired. And even though I would never say it, because that's that's something that as a professional, there, I'll go that right. As a professional, I am trained to work under extreme conditions of little to no sleep. But I'll tell you, uh, it will. It can kind of get a little. It can wear your body down. I'll just say that. I may not feel it as much the actual day I'm doing it, but it's the next day. It's the next morning trying to get out of bed. I feel like my son Jacob, you know, when it's the weekend and there's no school, even though he's in kindergarten, it's funny. It's like, man, I am I am beat. I think I think we all have those times though, yeah, where you just want to like that's what I did this past weekend. I was exhausted. I was literally exhausted from uh, just a bunch of stuff. Just take my word for it. I can't go into details, but Oh boy. Mike, I don't know. I Baltimore has not booked me for this year. I don't know if I'll be at Rhode Island or not. I didn't know, Sean. I didn't know that Netflix had a GI Joe toy documentary. I'll have to check. I have Netflix and I barely watch it. I haven't watched the third season of Daredevil, and I haven't even watched episode one of the second season of The Punisher yet. I I will tell you all this, in all honesty. I see that Best Buy has a 50-inch Samsung TV on sale for $329. I guess this week. That's the lowest I've ever seen it. I don't have a TV. Um, I don't watch TV at my house. I don't have time. But if I had it here in my office, I would probably use it for streaming, uh, YouTube and Netflix and stuff when I am working, because that's about the only time I get to view anything. Um, when I'm at home, it's about the only thing I'll watch at home is I don't even know if I'm going to watch the Super Bowl. Oh, you know what? If I haven't seen Steven come in the room, I have a Spider Gwen from him that needs to get mailed out today or tomorrow. I found it in a stack of artwork that I was getting prepared for mailing. So I am sorry, Steven. I thought that got mailed out last week. I have a handful of these things that I need to get out. That's another part of, my job here at at my office is I'm the mail department. I need I need an intern. Okay, I always try to do something a little interesting with the lighting. I mean, it may be simple, but at least it's just not. I can have it. Gonna have the light coming in from here. And let's see, this earpiece kind of, wow, let's see. He has one, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. Looks right. But then this earpiece kind of, well, it looks biggish. But I see some people, the reference I pulled up just has it kind of hooked into his visor thing. So I'll just follow that. We're only going to really see it on this side anyway. All right. I think that's good to ink from. TVs are a bargain now. You know why? My theory, Sean, is not only are they a bargain now, but I think it's, a lot of it is they're trying to sell that Q LED now, which is supposed to be like, I guess, more intense, deeper, darker blacks and richer than a 4K HD, you know, flat screen. And while the eye is a wonderful thing, it can only see so much. Um, it can't even see in 4K. So it all looks spectacular in the showroom, but when it gets down to it, you know, it's like, what can I say? But I really almost decided to do like what would it have been? 15, $25 head sketches and do a weekend, like just go all last weekend and have that pay for a TV for me. Um, I think I could have gotten them, but right now I don't know if I could justify the price of getting a TV. Uh, I had a bad end of the year. A lot of expenses. You've probably heard me talk about them. I'm not complaining. Stuff happens. A lot of stuff happened, and I'm still trying to gain some traction from that. So, uh, but if that TV stays, if I do well at the convention this weekend, and that TV stays on sale, or maybe even drops lower after the Super Bowl, I'll probably have to pick one up, even though they'll probably still go lower. My biggest fear is that they're gonna just stop making them. That they're because I don't. Give me a 4K smart TV that'll do streaming, YouTube, Netflix, whatever. I don't need a, a feed. I'll just I'll just stream it from my Wi-Fi. I don't need the networks or anything. There's enough on Netflix and YouTube to keep me entertained. Although I got to admit, the one show, and this is just like me, the one show that I do enjoy watching, and it's because even though I'm not a good business person, I enjoy business. I enjoy people that really know how to run a business. Is the show? It it might be on CNBC or something. It's called The Profit with Marcus Lemonis, and I love that show. It's just wonderful the way he goes in, invests in a business, turns the process around, and it just I mean, sure, some have been failures, but that's just because the people didn't follow through with his plan. I don't know if any of y'all have watched any of that, but the other show I enjoy is Undercover Boss. That tears, I swear to God, at the end of each episode, I tear up. I cry with those people. And my wife, she waits for it. When she sees me watching an episode, she knows it's coming. It's kind of funny. However, I think since I have DirecTV, if I had just a smart TV, I think I could direct it, no pun intended, to my DirecTV and watch like what I have recorded, like episodes of The Prophet or anything else. I have not, Ron. I have never seen Undercover Boss Death Star Edition. Nope. Well, I'm gonna have to. Maybe it's on YouTube. Is YouTube not? I mean, to me, YouTube is like the biggest learning. I mean, yeah, it's full of entertainment and stuff too. But man, if you need to learn to do anything, go to YouTube first, right? My son Jacob does that. He wanted to make slime, and he started telling me like the three ingredients, and I said, "Well, was that from your science fair at school?" This was like last Halloween. They had a little thing. Do you remember that, Jacob? He's like, "No." And I said, "Well, where did you learn about this method?" He goes, "I watched it on YouTube." And remember, he's 6, so he knows to go to YouTube and put in how to make slime. I made a custom t-shirt for him for the game he loves, Roblox. And he showed me a video. He doesn't know how to use the graphics programs. And he's like, "Daddy, can you watch this?" And I did, and made him custom shirt. Which, by the way, he did design. Cute little guy. Jacob is smart. I I wonder what it must. Well, I was gonna say, it's all he's ever known is being able to like call somebody from a car or something, or from anywhere really. Me growing up, you had to be on a landline, and I actually grew up in an area where they still had a party line with my neighbor, and I had shared, or our family shared, a party line for the longest time. And that's like extremely weird when you pick the phone up and you hear somebody else having a conversation. And what's even weirder is thinking about they could be listening into yours. I mean, you could kind of hear the phone be picked up, but if you didn't, you just had to make sure that you were on good terms with your neighbor, I suppose. All right. Yes, YouTube is phenomenal for stuff. Hey, thanks, Sean. I think we'll be on again tonight at 7, if you could make it. All right, buddy? Thanks for all your help. I really appreciate it. Hey, Dr. Kaz, did you ever find that that Atlanta convention in July? If you're still listening and can reply. I think it was July 12th through the 15th. I don't think I'm listed up on the website yet, but Renee, who books me at some shows, has told me that Mike and I will be there. All right. Good deal, man. Hope to see you there. That's a short drive for Ron too. If he wants a Zach Beatty sketch, he's probably better off trying to get it there than at Heroes Con. Maybe. To get a Zach Beatty combo sketch run at Atlanta, it might be easier to get it there than at Heroes Con. That's what I was saying. And if you let me take it home, I can make you a blue line and I can ink it, and you can have the pencils to practice over too. Just saying. Just throwing that out there. That's right. That's the way. The Zach Beatty combos go pretty quick at shows. I think Mike on a 3-day show will take about 4 to 5 at the most before he puts on a wait list. Um, because we never really know how much time we're going to have to work on sketches because people lining up for signatures is sometimes very busy. I'm talking 5, 6 hours straight on some days where we have no time to do anything but sign autographs and do that. And then we have to try to get the sketches done in the room. So it's always it's usually a busy weekend. Usually I would say at conventions, I average 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night. So not much. Oh, nice, Ashley. Punisher, yep. Captain America. Those are our two. Just cap out. And I guess what am I gonna 1.5? No, it's like probably maybe 2 to 1. Personally, I don't know. I was gonna say I kind of dig doing Cap more than Punisher, but maybe it's just because we've done so many Punishers that it's nice to do a Cap. I don't know. And I just, Cap is that character I've always had that soft spot for since a kid, so maybe that has a little bit to do with it too. I think it does. And when I say kid, I didn't get into superhero comics until like, well, I guess I was about the right age, but 14. I know a lot of kids were into them before that, but I was a comic strip guy. I wanted to do comic strips. So, hey, I'm gonna say what I'm doing now. This type of sketch. This is the true effort. This is the true essence of my quick sketches. I love the way this is looking, the brushiness of it, the looseness of it. It's all coming together. That storm that I started with is nice. I like that. But when I get these characters with these nice blacks on them, in this setting, I feel relaxed and I feel confident. I think also Storm being a female, I have to be a little careful on the features. Although I am trying to overcome that. You know, I'm trying to become more confident in my female characters, and that's part of what having all sorts of stuff thrown at me, not knowing what character I'm gonna get. It helps me. It helps me grow and to continue to push my game as a cartoonist, as an illustrator, um, whatever moniker somebody wants to bestow on me. But I remember Dr. Kaz when I did your snake eyes, and I brought out this big brush to do the black areas on his costume. Man, did that feel good! And I still look at that piece, and I wish I could get that in, like, let's just say my final work that goes to print. But I don't have the confidence uh, for that on a page of, well, especially pencils over someone else. My own pencils, you know, I I I can experiment a bit with them. And that piece that I did, that snake eyes I did for you, was still one of my favorite from my daily draw stuff, which I eventually will get back to that too. It's just a little more time consuming. And I think going forward, I think when I do that, I think I'm just going to make everything color. I'm not going to stop it at any point. They're just going to be all color. I think that'll be a nice way to get a little finish and, you know, having, because I got this going now. I know I jump around sometimes when I speak. I go down these rabbit holes. I'm sure some of y'all have noticed that by now, but anyway, so I think those will all go right to color, and I will just keep this option um, available for black and white. But it's been a good growing period for me this past like 3 months, getting on YouTube, developing people that, you know, developing an audience that I didn't, number one, getting an audience that already was familiar with my work, and then finding people that may not be familiar with my work that have become familiar with it. So it's really been um, a nice experience for me, and I hope for you all as well. And I hope that if anybody out there has purchased something, that they've, you know, they feel that they've gotten a value out of it. And for those of you who haven't, that just like to watch and see the process, I enjoy that too. So I hope you get something out of seeing me create something from the ground up, because it's all about, how people work and what they do. Everybody's gonna, maybe have a similar approach in some ways, but in the end, everybody has their own process of what works for them. And as I was saying, I've kind of discovered that doing these for $25 is, I mean, I'm going to sell out, but it's not the best deal for me. And it's not a money grab. It's just a reality um, of it. And it took a while for me to finally realize that, wow, anyway, I don't want to dwell on that. I want to dwell on the positives. And I believe I just think he needs a little more weight over on this side. And it can be illustrative weight. Now I need to just, yeah, I need to cut this in. There we go. Okay. So yeah, it's been a very enjoyable time for me. And truthfully, I'm going to say this in all honesty. I can't remember. It may have been Ron. I think Ron sent me a text and asked, yeah, it was Ron, asked me how I felt about my first convention this weekend. Was I excited and stuff? And I said, well, I am, but I'm actually going to miss YouTube, because the audience that comes here, I feel like, as corny as it may sound, I feel like we've developed a relationship of sorts, and I greatly appreciate that relationship. So I want all of you to know, excuse me, that you are, you are appreciated by myself. There was one little area. You know what? I can't find it. There was one little area I was going to touch up, but if I can't see it now, I think I was just going to darken this black up a little bit. It probably, this is like something that is unnecessary, but my OCD is kind of saying, make it black, darken it. Anyway, so that's it. I just, like I said, I really want you all to know how much I appreciate you. Ashley, I appreciate that very much. Hey, Chris. Eldon, I try. I really try. Let's see. Chris says, "What's the oddest sketch you requested?" I went over that in a stream before, and it's really kind of one of those things where, mm, let's just say it was me inking George Perez over a Conan. Um, so, um, so yeah, I appreciate everybody that comes into the room. Tangents. Let's see, Chris. Um, yes, but I think I'm gonna do your snake eyes later tonight, Chris. I think I'm gonna knock out all three of yours because I was trying to do these in groups of five. I started this at 10:30. It's 12:30, so I guess I'm spending about an hour on each one instead of 3 to 4 to 5, which I was doing in the morning. But they were a lot tighter, uh, drawn out pieces. Um, So yeah, I have you down, and I think at 7 o'clock tonight, I'm going to do your three all at once, so that you're. I mentioned that earlier. I did. Yeah, I think I did mention your name. That so at 7 p.m. Eastern time, I will be back here in my office streaming your three pieces of artwork. That way, I can get yours done in one grouping. Sound good? And this eraser has got to go. I mean, it's got to go. It's too old. This thing is nasty. I mean, I don't know if y'all can appreciate the color difference. This is a new one. Well, it's been used a little bit, but not much. It's very pliable, supple, soft. This is beginning to be like a stone. It's dark. It's dirty. It smells. You can still ply it, but it's getting tacky, and it's got to go. It's just got to go. Oh, thank you, Ashley. I'll have another one to do tonight. I'll try to put a little different spin on it. He's still a very dark character. And speaking of dark characters, the last one I have coming up today is a Venom for our winner of the contest, Eldon Cooper. Cooper Duper. I'm sure he has heard that before. So I will get Hey, Eldon, did you come watch the video of I gave Jacob the paper? I still have it right here. When your name came up, I was still over at the computer and I had to do a few things, and I think I announced your name, but I didn't have my headset on, and so I wasn't sure if people could see it. And I said, "Hey, Jacob, do Daddy a favor. Go put this underneath the camera." And so he came and helped me out, and it was fun. All right, so Venom. And again, Venom is one of those characters that is, a lot of people interpret him in their own way. So um, I like that about him. It gives you a little freedom. I'm just kind of thinking. Usually, I do a small Venom remark on covers where he's looking profile this way so I can do his tongue. So um, I think I might just stick with that. Uh, and I can, since I'm on a, a piece of paper here, I can actually add a little bit to it. But I usually, let me see if I can work this out. I'm used to doing it in such a small space. I usually give him a really thick neck and like kind of a bean head. And see, I'm going to run out of room for the tongue. Okay. I guess the tongue could go off the paper and come back in. See, I'm always thinking of like, hey, what could I do? Or I could set the head back a little bit more. I mean, with Venom, the tongue is kind of the star, isn't it? I mean, in a weird way, it's kind of funny to say that, but in a sense, the teeth and the tongue. It's odd if you ever really look at Venom, and I'm sure you do, but from the front on view, his his lip going into this area looks like a duck bill. And you got his eye up here, which is always all crazy and you know. So usually I do something like this, and then I get his smile going in that connects to the front of the duck bill, I'll call it. And I drop his jaw down to his lower lip, which goes into right, kind of like right into his chin. Then he's got another piece here that comes down to like what would be his jaw. All right. I think I need to throw this out a little further and down a little more. Then he's got like this little area here, this like stretchy gum, almost snake-like. And then I just indicate some teeth because I usually, once I get going with a brush or a pen, I just let them kind of happen. tongue just kind of rolls out. We'll roll it out and down, and then it's going to come back up. So it would, if you can imagine, it would come off and then back up. Okay, that don't need to do anything with that. And then we always have some spittle. So all right. Now I have a concept. Thanks, AG. I haven't read it, Donnie. I haven't read Donnie's take on Venom. Of course, I don't really. You're right, Ashley, about Gene Simmons. Hey, Ken. I don't know if it was Eric Larson or not, Eldon. I just think it's, to me, it's kind of. I don't like when people make Venom look too much like. Uh, I don't like it when they make him look too human, but I also don't like it when they make him look too alien. I don't know, there's this weird split, and I don't even know if I do it correctly, to tell the truth. I just do what I feel is right and say it's Venom. I know that just made your day, right? But just being truthful. And again, before I start inking this, I want to say, if you haven't subscribed, I think earlier somebody announced that I did have 176 subscribers now. So I have crushed my goal of trying to get to 150 by the end of this month. So I appreciate every one of you for taking time to subscribe, and hope you stay subscribers. Um, if you ring the bell, you'll get notifications when I'm live or put content up, which I intend to do. There will be some content that I can't stream live due to reasons that it can't be seen before it's either published or when it's out for the public to see. But I do want to capture that so that I can put it up and maybe do a narration over it to let you all know what I was thinking, what I was working with, that type of stuff. Those will be a little more highly produced videos, and I have to wait until I get my new computer set up to do those, which has been sitting here since around December 10th. So, uh, anyway, thumbs up if you like the video. Hey, some people may not. I haven't got a thumbs down yet. I'm not asking for one, but I'm saying it does happen. Some people just like to, like to be negative and do it. I mean, if there's a good reason, if you give me a thumbs down, leave me a comment. Tell me why. Uh, that's the way I learn how to do a better stream. But if you're not a subscriber, please think about it. It is free. It can be fun. We're here having a lot of fun with people today. Some people have stopped in for a while and had to crash. Maybe they were either on their lunch break or maybe they're taking their lunch break now. Some people can stay in for the complete haul, and some people will come back and catch it on the replay. I appreciate every view. Um, but yeah, if you can leave a comment like you did on the one for the contest, that's fantastic. What that does is help me uh, get on YouTube's algorithm, from what I understand, that people are liking this enough that they might put it in the, hey, watch this. If you enjoyed that, watch this. And if I get that click through, then that could mean somebody new, somebody that does not know John Beatty from his professional work or the work that he's doing now or whatever. So it's all a team effort. And I appreciate my team. Like I've noted, Sean, my body story is his moniker in the room. He has really, that guy has retweeted everything I've done. He's posted it in rooms. I think he's probably brought more people to the channel than maybe myself. And I really appreciate that. Anyway, that's my sales pitch. Sort of. I guess every now and again you got to ask, you got to let people realize that they can subscribe to the channel. It's not going to cost them anything, because I do know some people, they think subscription, I don't want to pay for that, and that's fine. You don't have to. Some of the most fun, I think it was you, Eldon, that brought up Eric Larson. Some of the most fun I had inking was over uh, Eric Larson. And I don't know if he still feels the way he did at the time of the interview, but there was an interview in Draw Magazine with him, and he cites Klaus Janson and myself, John Beatty, as being the favorite inkers on his work, because we both bring something to his work that he doesn't. So that's been quite a few years ago. That's why I said I don't know if it's still, but it was nice to know. I don't agree with Eric on a lot of things, but I do agree that I enjoy inking his work. Eric is a fun guy to ink. He loves comics. I know that. The great thing about Venom, well, one of the great things, is you don't have to get his teeth right, because there is no wrong. It's like, I mean, uh, you know, AG, I loved inking that stuff. I would have inked Eric. I don't want to say for free, but I so enjoyed his work and what we produced together. It was up there with with some of the stuff, like, I liken him to kind of Incan Kelly Jones and Mike Zeck. I wish I would have got a chance at that point. Eric was doing layouts, and they were, there was a lot of room for interpretation, which was great for me. And I just remember talking to him and him telling me, go crazy on it, do what you want. It's like, uh, and I did. I took his advice and I just went with my gut and um, just had a really good time. That's all. I can't say any. That's the biggest compliment I can give the guy, is that he had faith in me as an inker to just, he just wanted to step aside and let me do my job. And I love it when I see people bring the Spider-Man books up that he and I worked on. And then I also did, I think, 6 or 7 pages in Savage Dragon 100, or an annual or something. That was the job there that I wasn't sure, because it was his property, and I think he even did a little tighter pencils than what he did on Spider-Man. But in the end, he still loved it. AGE, those pencils were not tight at all. He was doing like 6 pages a day, and uh, it it was it was enough, though. I mean, that's the deal about inking, is you know you You don't have to have a penciler, or you shouldn't have to have a penciler put it all in for you, because then literally the joke, you're a tracer, becomes true, because you're just following somebody's lines and making them pretty, so to speak. So no, they were definitely sketchy. Uh, I needed to interpret certain things, but that's what I liked. Some of the pencilers that I see nowadays, I would not like to ink, because there's nothing for me to do but become a hand to service what they have put down. And at that point, then, what is the point? If somebody can control a tool and have understanding of line weights, then they can pretty much call themselves an inker. But when they're given something that needs interpretation, delineation, that type of stuff, then it definitely opens up a whole new uh, world to deal with, a whole new set of rules, so to speak, and disciplines. So you have to kind of really know the craft at that point to be able to pull it off. But good question. Glad you asked it so I could clarify. Like I say, I don't know if you all. I think I commented on this on a YouTube cast last week when it came out, or the day after, or the morning that I saw it. That CB Cebulski, I've never met him, so I, don't know what. I've heard he's a nice guy. I'll take my friend's words for that. But he put a thing out about Marvel needing inkers, and now more than ever. And he put a comment in there about, and you know, you old professionals, or maybe not old, maybe I'm not saying he meant old in the sense of age, but just, existing professionals, keep your brush skills sharp, or something like that. Um, and I have no idea. It was kind of a weird little session of tweeting about inking. And if you saw it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It didn't seem to really have a purpose. Like, I mean, it did say we're hiring more inkers, but it wasn't like, we're going to go on this great ink search or something. But he did mention for seasoned inkers or current inkers or something to, I don't want to ruin his exact quote. I'll just say this. I replied with a simple, here's my email, john@johnbeattyart.com. Would love to talk to you and have a conversation. Hope to hear from you soon. And so I haven't heard anything. And like I said, I don't know if he really put that out there to just test the waters, see what he would get back, or if he was serious. So I don't know. You know, the more I thought about it, the more I just thought this could just be him fishing around to see like what what anchors, let's say that, you know, are in my category that are, you know, anchors from, I started in 1980. Oh, I know the one thing. He did mention something about keeping up modern inking or something. And, he didn't explain what that was. So I guess modern inking, a lot of people were interpreting it as digital inking, but it wasn't explained. I think what he means by modern inking is the 10 gazillion lines, the cross hatching, that type of stuff. That's my interpretation of modern inking. But I'd love to have an email conversation with him. I got no problem with, if the pay was right and the job was right and the job was right, I could easily see. I would love to do another Captain America something. I know it. I know it won't be with my exec, which is a shame. But that opportunity to work on Cap maybe one last time with the right creative team, writer and penciler, I'd be extremely interested in that. And skill wise, I think my skills have, not gone down a bit. Now, that's me. Other people may beg to differ, and that's fine. But that's why I said I can't really, in good conscience, tell anyone to, at this time, try to be an anchor as a career. I think the best I could tell them is, you can ink, but you need to write or become a penciler or a colorist even. Anyway, just kind of throwing that into the mix of the conversation here. Not trying to rile anyone up. I just didn't know if you all were aware that I guess inking is being looked at again, although I don't see it. So I was curious. I was curious about this new inking search and that Marvel was hiring more inkers now, more than, more inkers now more than ever. Maybe they are. Okay, Ashley. See you tonight. Appreciate it. I should have. I really should. That was a 3-issue thing, right? I know it was. And I'm going to mention another right around that time. Uh, I did an issue over John Byrne's layouts, I think, of Amazing Spider-Man that had Venom at the very end. And I gotta say, I was feeling good on those. And I remember turning those pages in, and it was kind of rare, but I was getting editorial feedback about how much they loved what I was doing. And I only mention that because normally you turn something in and you're lucky to hear anything, like even, hey, we got the pages, thanks. So when you're getting the editor to call you up and go, man, this is, brilliant work, you know, keep at it. It helps the ego. And that's one thing in comics that um, you have to be careful of, not to get too big an ego. But, it doesn't hurt to hear from the people that you're doing work for that they like it. It's kind of a nice sentiment, especially when you know that it's an honest, that they really mean it, that they're not just giving you lip service. Because there's always that. But I will say, having said that, let me let me collect my thoughts and read the chat, just see if anything came in before I go on this little bit of a diatribe here. Well, I would say if you're a modern inker, whatever that means, you know, if you follow CB Cebulski, that go follow that tweet. He does not say how to submit or when to submit or what to submit. But I know a lot of people were actually posting samples of their inks and asking, how do we submit? So what I was going to say is I've had both. I've had, you know, great work. I've had crickets where I just turn the work in and I don't even know that they got it, except that I'm not hearing from anybody that, hey, where are the pages? And tracking numbers are a wonderful thing back then because I could give them the tracking number or I could track it myself, which I would normally do because being up early, I would be way ahead of the editors. I could track and make sure it was signed. And if they didn't have it delivered, I could say, oh, yeah, it was delivered. It was signed for by whoever, name a person at, let's say, 9 o'clock or 9:10 or 9:15 in the mail department. Now, why you don't have it, I have no idea. Maybe it's still being, because they actually did. They had like a shopping cart, and the guy that was in charge of delivering the FedEx packages to the editors would just go kind of door to door in the editorial rooms and drop off however many packages for each editor. And I'm sure there's a little bit of chatting, so it maybe took a little bit of time. And then I've also had the editor that has asked me to make changes to a penciler, and then when I do and the penciler doesn't like it, I've had the editor come back and tell me I ruined the pencils. That's kind of where I'm like, all right, you told me, to go this direction. I tried to talk you out of it, And now you're putting the noose around my neck. These are just war stories, people. I don't mean anything by them. I'm just passing the time as I'm drawing, trying to entertain. But they are as truthful as I remember them. I will guarantee you that. If anything, I can guarantee that. I'm not making anything up. And I'm not naming names because there's no need for that. I have as far as I know, I have good relationships with both Marvel and DC, with the higher ups. I don't cause problems. I don't want to cause problems. I like their product. I'm a fan of it. Uh, and, I want to continue to support it as long as I can, but it's getting tougher with the product that's coming out that I can't even relate to anymore. But I digress. That's neither here nor there either, right? Everybody has a different taste, and I can respect that too. All right. I think it's time for the nice, big, soft brush that I used on snake eyes. And whoop, oh, that was not good. Let's see. Hey, I know what that eraser is going to be for. My brushes keep rolling off my drawing table here because I got so many of them stacked up. I am now going to squeeze it down and it will prevent that from happening. Very good. All right. Now to have fun with rectangle roll labels. Well, I'll have to check into that. I need some labels. No? Don't know that. You mean scroll? No? Kno? Ron, you lost me there. You and your new stuff. Your new characters that I don't know of. Okay, I have no idea. I All right. Hey, as long as Eldon's kid enjoys it, that's what I'm gonna. That's that's the main thing for me. Ron, are you are you somewhere where you can see? Did you see the snake eyes? I was really happy with the way it turned out. I don't know if you got a chance to see the final though. Okay, let me show you the final snake eyes. Boom. Yowza. Nice. As Mr. Zablo said, that's a nice. Nice. That's it. And I got another snake, another snake eyes. Neck. When Jacob was young, he couldn't say snake. He would say neck. Daddy, there's a neck in the yard. And it would just be like a water hose or something. Kids are fun. Okay. Hey, Ron, is 7 o'clock good for you tonight? I'm gonna send you the invite anyway. Wow. How about 6? I don't know if I could do 6. We'll try 7. I would like to go earlier too. Well, 6 might work. I don't know. I don't know if Bella's cooking and I got to be there to eat. And if she is and I don't eat, I'm going to get yelled at. So, although we could put 6:30. 6:30, we could cut the difference. Nothing wrong with that. All right, I will do that. And for anybody watching or maybe catching this on a replay, I think I'll shoot for. I think I may have said 7 earlier, but maybe 6:30 start. If you're subscribed and got notifications, you got them turned on, then and also check Twitter and my Facebook, John Beatty Art on Facebook, and I'll have it listed. I'm voting for around 6:30 though. Ron and I both get up extremely early and go to bed early. So these nighttime streams are a little bit exhausting. But fun nonetheless. And I also think that we get a little bit different crowd. We get a later crowd. I understand that. And we get some people from overseas who it's the middle of the night. So, can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? That's my little ode to Venom. Can you feel it? Just in case y'all were wondering. And even if not, if you're like, why is he singing that? Well, I'm trying to sing it. You ever in your car listening to the radio? That sounded like the Stones. I was in the car listening to this, what is it, the country radio station. Anyway, in your car, song comes on you like, you're singing it. I mean, this is your song. This is one of your favorite all time songs. And you're just like, no one's in the car with you. You're like, man, I'm doing a good job on this song. I'm nailing it. Well, I have. Next time you get that feeling, slowly turn the sound off. A little bit at the time, you know, nothing too rash. Then you'll really appreciate a good singer. Unless you are a good singer, which I'm not, but I think somewhere inside of all of us, we like to think that when we're singing along with our favorite song, we're hitting all those notes. That gives me a reality check when I'm like, okay, I'm really harmonizing with whoever, singing this part good. Slowly lower it down, still sounds good. Then when you get down to where your voice is really overpowering, it's like, man, I suck. Then you realize you just need your backup singer, the person who you were singing along with. That's all. You know, I'm still singing good. I just need my backup. They're bringing in that extra vocal I need. And you still think you're carrying the load. I don't know. I do silly stuff like that, I guess. There you go. Beats by Beatty. I like that. Beatty Beats. Okay, Mike. Hey, no apologies. It will probably be sometime tomorrow, either afternoon or evening. Because I'm going to do the three that Chris ordered tonight. All right. See you then. Have a good rest of your day until tonight. Okay. And I believe it's time to bring out the bigger daddy to this brush for the rest. By the way, in the credit that's where credit is due department, I want to give a hat tip to Jay Lee, who is a buddy of mine and has shown me, well, not really shown me, but I've watched him use a brush like this to cover a lot of area with fewer strokes. And so I saw him work some magic. He did in Kissimmee last year in I think it was September, and I was there. We were sitting next to each other, and I'd met him at a few shows, but never got to sit next to him. And so we were sitting together and hanging out, and his sketch list filled up immediately. And he had a Chewbacca, and he used this, as you can imagine, to get the hair. And boy, I was just like, man, that would have taken me forever with my single line feathering type style. So I went to one of these brushes and I love it. It gives you this nice soft, and you can go from thick to thin. But what a treat his art is. I always enjoy it. He's a good guy, or at least I've always thought he is, and I have no reason to change my mind. I would suggest if you can get a sketch from him when you're at a show, he's very much worth the money. And to watch him work is just incredible. All right, I guess Mike took off. Hilden, Thanks, Dr. Kaz. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the compliment very much. And this will about wrap up today's, let's see, so 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30. Yeah, 3 hours. So about an hour ahead sketch. That's about as quick as I can get. Um, with the chatting, the interaction, you get a bit distracted. I'm sure if I was doing these in complete silence, or if I had that 50-inch Samsung that's $329 at Best Buy, it's the low end Samsung. I don't need anything more. I have the 43-inch in 6,000 something. It's fine. It's beautiful. Um, I would like to put that up in my office somewhere and just put that on while I work. Or you can also use them as monitors. But before we call it over for the day, like I said, if I have a good convention and I can put some money away for bills and still be able to afford a TV, I have been putting off a TV for about a year now, if not more. Um, but hey, you know what? Responsibilities come first. TV, I've done without. A little splatter on the venom. Certain characters I like to give a little more. Giving him some spittle, right? And some textures. It shows up a lot better than you're seeing on the stream. Because I wanted a few to go here and they wouldn't. I'm just going to dab them in. And now the end is near. And so I face my final curtain. But wait, there's more. There is more indeed. We got to give a little gray here. Little dark, little light. Texture him up. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. All right. I think that's going to do it. Let that dry nice and flat. Give it that little extra detail. That's pretty easy to do. I want to thank everybody for joining me this afternoon. We're going to do it again at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Eldon, thank you for entering the contest, and congratulations on winning. Dr. Kaz, thanks for the nice compliment. Ron, thank you. Anybody that I missed, I want to thank you for stopping by. I'll get this, once that's dried, I'll get these signed up. I think I'm going to use this, I got to get a thumbnail up for my YouTube channel. I think I'm going to use this nice snake eyes for the thumbnail. The new thumbnails I got are fairly simple, for a quick draw. But I think they're effective. They still hold at least one piece of the artwork performed. And I would probably do this venom, but excuse me, I think I need a straight on shot. And although I think venom profile is the best way to go on a sketch all the time, I think it's the best way to go. So I think I'll wind up using the anyway, David, thanks. I appreciate you. I thought you had maybe left. So, Ron and I will be back on tonight at, I think we're going to shoot for 6:30. I'm going to put it at 6:30. If something changes, we'll figure it out. All right. So thank you, everybody. And I'm going to go ahead and end now because I need to clean up and get it ready for again tonight. And I need to also get some mailing labels. I've got all the packing orders out. I need to see who I can pack with another piece that they ordered. Some people have already told me just send it with my other one, so I got to separate those. All right, so hope to see everyone again tonight, and I'll be doing another Snake Eyes, a Batman, and a Joker. So hopefully everything's going to be really good for me, and we're going to have a fun night. All right. Appreciate it. And I will see you all again very soon. Take care until then. Bye for now.